epitome of like just Rhine one trick, and I will show you why. So the bad thing about Rhine, and the reason he's picked so much at lower ranks, and he just crumbles at high ranks. So the Rhine allows you to play in really stupid spots and low elos and get away with it. So, for example, let's look at this beginning part here. Yep. Yeah. Just gonna 2x it. Let's move up a little bit. This is all fine. This is all fine. It's fine. You shouldn't be dealing with the ball, but it's whatever. It's not the point I'm trying to make. There's this sort of stuff. So right now, he has no cover. I mean, he's got this corner that he's like sort of nearby. But if I back up a few seconds, the way he's moving up here, like this, he's in front of a Zenyatta. So he's obviously just not used to playing against a Zen, which is, you know, is understandable. But he can like hold extremely aggressive space kind of for free just to take, and it just costs him the shield, which is like not good, but it's fine. But like compared to how far up he was to the rest of the team, if you look at this. So it's like him versus four, we'll say 3 people because the ball was coming back. We'll say 3 people. And then the rest of our team's back here. So he's taking space, but we're not able to utilize the space, so the space is meaningless. And he's not stopping them from like coming up because he's just getting blasted. He's just taking damage and taking shield damage. But that sort of thing of why when I said he's too aggressive for dive tanks is specifically for it's because of that. So he can go up really aggressively, take space that is like too aggressive, and then use a 1600 HP shield and get away with it. And it just costs him his shield, like not his actual life. Which, I mean, costing you your shield for that isn't good, but it's not, you're not dead. So when he switches onto Monkey, right here, okay. Oops, I did not mean to push that button. Alright, so he switches onto Monkey. And this is how he plays Monkey. If he was a Rhine here, he'd be fine. I mean, also just like team is not ready, but. So he drops as if he's a Rhine. So like, if he's Rhine here, he can drop, and then he lives. He can just back up to this corner, like pop his shield and live. I imagine he'll, yeah, he just freaking melts. But if he's a Rhine there holding his shield up, he doesn't die. But that space is way too aggressive to take as a Winston. He needs to be up here, like poking at people with right click and posturing for a dive and looking. But he drops like a Reinhardt player and like a Reinhardt one trick and like low ranks that isn't used to getting punished. But that like that positioning is just way too aggressive, so he dies for it. And we'll see this again. So this is all fine, this is fine, this is fine. Clearly not a Winston player because he pops his bubble mid-jump. This is fine. He's probably gonna die, but like, see, look. He's walking into 4 people and a Zenyatta. If he's a Rhine here swinging at these guys, he can just pop his shield and back up and he's fine. but he's a monkey. He's not a Rhine. He doesn't have a shield like that, so he can't. He doesn't survive. So it's that sort of aggression that makes Reinhardt like such a bad hero to one trick in these lower ranks, and I hate it because it's such a crutch. You get used to having the 1600 extra HP to just do really dumb stuff, and then you can't play other tanks because this happens because you're just so used to that. And like the Rhine shield, yes, you use it as extra HP, but it's not your oh crap button I need to get out. You use the extra HP to take space with your team. It's not like he let me try to state this a little bit accurately. So he's too aggressive, and because he's too aggressive, he pops into a 1600 HP shield and walks back. It costs him maybe like half to three quarters of his shield. Um, so now he doesn't have that extra HP with his shield to take space with his team. Reinhardt's slow, he's stationary, so he needs the extra HP in order to walk forward. If he doesn't have the HP on his shield, he has to sit back and wait and charge it up, and then you can walk forward. You kind of flicker your shield, do shield jumps. There's all kinds of tech to it. But the bad thing is, like these lower elo players don't exactly understand that. So they think, oh, 1600 HP shield, I have more HP. And it builds really bad habits. And then you can't play other tanks because you're just so used to having a 1600 HP shield that can get you out of bad situations. And then it leads to this. So TLDR, don't one trick Rhine at lower ranks. It's fine to play Rhine, just don't one trick him because it builds bad habits. Um, trying to think if there's another hero that just like builds bad. I mean, Roadhog is another one. You shouldn't one trick Roadhog. You shouldn't one trick Rhine. Um, I think that's probably about it for like bad one trick heroes. I would say Doomfist is kind of not great, but you kind of have to one trick Doomfist if you're gonna, not actually, but so I would say yeah. Doomfist, Rhine, Roadhog, don't one trick them. It's fine to main them, but make sure you sprinkle in some other hero so that you're not building these bad habits. So the bad habit with Roadhog, actually I need to start booting this stuff up. But the bad thing with Roadhog is that you have a massive heal and you're playing for picks, which is not the play style of any other tank. No other tank is playing for picks. Maybe Doomfist, but it's like totally different. The skill set is totally different. So for Roadhog, you're like trying to get cheeky angles, get a hook, pull people out of position, stuff like that. Doesn't allow you to actually play the like that's not a tank. It's like a very niche tank that doesn't fit into any other category. Reinhardt's kind of the same thing, where I guess Rein's not like super niche, kind of is, but the shield can be a really bad crutch, and then Doomfist can just teach you to be a little too aggressive and get away with it because you have so many utilities to get away with it. So it's like I said, fine to main them, just don't one trick them. If you play Reinhardt, I would recommend picking up Winston actually because Winston like these two heroes are very different, and they will teach you very different things about the game. So I recommend playing both of these together. If you're a degen and want to main Roadhog, um, pick. I mean, you're used to playing off angles. I guess if you, well, I guess maybe not. Maybe you just in low ranks they probably just sit there and tank damage. So people probably pair like Roadhog and Rhine together because you can just like sit in one spot and absorb damage. So honestly, I'd probably recommend Winston. Like if you play these two, pick up a dive hero and learn how to play it. Pick up Winston, pick up D.Va. D.Va's a little easier to play than Winston, I think. I think Winston will teach you a lot more about the game than D.Va will. Because D.Va has defense matrix. so it's a little bit easier to get yourself out of bad situations. With Winston, if you're in a bad spot, you die, and it's not your support's fault. You're in a bad spot. And then if you play Doom, if you're like a Doomfist one trick, I'd pick Orisa even. It's like your counter, so you should be used to playing it or playing against it, and it'll teach you good things about like stationary tanking.